So there's plenty of people out there that make the mistake of applying for a Capital One credit card without fully knowing all the details about them before they decide to get a credit card with them. The thing about Capital One and their credit cards, ladies and gentlemen, is that you guys absolutely need to have a game plan before you guys decide to get a credit card with them, because if you don't have a game plan, then getting a credit card with Capital One can actually be one of your biggest downfalls. I know a lot of people get Capital One credit cards because maybe they're new to credit or they're trying to recover from having bad credit or past bankruptcy of some sort, because when it comes to beginner Capital One credit cards, guys, they're actually really easy to get because they're bad credit friendly. Now, I'm not saying not to get Capital One credit cards. All I'm saying is to just be aware and make sure you guys have a game plan before you guys do decide to get a credit card with them. In this video, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be going over 3 huge things you guys need to look out for if you ever do decide to get a credit card with Capital One. So if you guys want to know what these 3 things are, then make sure to watch this video all the way to the end so that way you, sir or ma'am, do not miss out on any good financial information that can help you out. If you're already subscribed, then welcome back. But if you guys are new to my channel, my name is Ismael Sandiford and you are now watching Just Money, where we talk about financial related topics such as personal and business credit, real estate, and other financial related topics. So if that's something you're into, then you're probably going to want to consider subscribing. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. So between people that I know personally and clients that I have personally worked with, I keep seeing the same problem over and over again when it comes to Capital One and their credit cards. The first thing that I noticed is that a lot of people out there have like a $500 credit limit on either their Platinum credit card or their Quicksilver credit card. And the second thing I noticed is not only do they have a $500 credit limit on those credit cards, but those credit cards tend to be their oldest credit cards. Now, when it comes to building a solid credit profile, you guys cannot have low limits like this, because this is just going to make you look bad. It's going to make you look bad, and it actually cripples you when you guys are trying to get higher funding down the road, whether it's on the personal side or even the business side. Ideally, you guys want to have a minimum credit limit of at least $5,000 or more on every single credit card that you guys have. But obviously, if you guys have more than this, then the better. The reason why you guys want high credit limits on every single credit card that you guys have, though, is because whenever you guys decide to apply for a new credit card, whether it's on the personal side or the business side, these lenders tend to look at something called your comparable credit. If these lenders pull your credit and they see you have low limits on your credit cards, like 500, 1,000, 1,500, or whatever it is, anything around that range, then guess what they're about to give you? They're about to give you a credit limit on your new credit card that you just got approved for of around that range. But if you guys have high credit limits like 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, or anything around that range, then again, they're going to give you a credit limit on your new credit card that you just got approved for of around that range. A thing that I personally like to do when it comes to cleaning up my credit profile for higher funding is on all of my low limit credit cards, I like to ask for a credit limit increase. If a credit issuer is willing to increase my credit limit with only a soft pull being done to my credit, then I'm definitely going to engage in that. Now, luckily, the good thing about Capital One, their credit cards, is that they will never pull your credit for a credit limit increase with them, which is basically one of the very few things that I admire about them. But if a credit issuer doesn't do soft pulls for credit limit increases and I have a low limit on that credit card, then I'm going to just cut my losses and close that credit card despite however long I've owned it. And I only say this, ladies and gentlemen, because at the end of the day, I need that higher funding, and this credit card, this low limit credit card, is holding me back. Now, the reason why people have low limits on their Capital One credit cards in the first place, though, is because Capital One tends to get a lot of people who are new to credit or are just now deciding to build their credit. It's been known for a while now to get a Capital One credit card if you're ever trying to build or rebuild your credit, because Capital One is bad credit friendly despite your personal situation, like having a bankruptcy or something. So when people get these Capital One credit cards, they really don't know too much about credit, let alone how Capital One credit cards work. Yes, in a lot of case scenarios, they can approve you if you got bad credit, if you're new to credit, but if you're not informed on how to go about using these cards so that way you can eventually have high credit limits in the future with them, then this can definitely hurt you down the road. If you guys want your $500 Capital One credit card limit to be increased, you guys have to be using this card religiously while almost hitting your limit every single month and paying it back. If you guys are not doing this, then it's going to be super difficult for you guys to get a credit limit increase when it comes to Capital One. Now, when it comes to other credit issuers, it's really not as hard to get a credit limit increase with them. It's just more so with Capital One. They don't play when it comes to their credit limit increases. Capital One actually wants to see that you absolutely need a credit limit increase with them, and that it's almost dire, because anything short of that, they're not going to increase your credit limit. Now, most people out there aren't going to do what it takes to get a credit limit increase with Capital One, and that's why most people out there stay at a low limit with Capital One. People will then inevitably get tired of this and then just forget about their Capital One credit card and then just apply for a new credit card with a credit union like Navy Federal, which tends to give you a higher credit limit. They get happy with the new credit card that has the higher limit and then forget about their Capital One credit card that has a low limit, and then they just don't use the Capital One credit card from here on out because it doesn't make sense to no more because the limit is too low. So a thing you guys absolutely need to know before you guys do get a Capital One credit card is that you guys need to be using the card religiously every single single month, like at least 10 to 15 times every single month. You need to be using it every single month while almost hitting the limit, so that way they can increase your credit limit in the next 3 to 6 months. And like I said, a lot of people out there don't know this, and this is why their credit limits tend to stay low. Honestly, a thing that I would recommend to do is start building and rebuilding your credit using a credit union, because credit unions are definitely where it's at when it comes to receiving high credit limits. If you guys don't know too much about credit unions and how they work, then I have plenty of videos on my channel talking about this. So if you guys want more information in regards to this, then feel free to browse my YouTube channel. Now, another thing that you guys absolutely need to know before you guys apply for a credit card with Capital One is that they're going to pull from all 3 credit bureaus. So this means if you guys apply for any credit card with Capital One, they're going to be pulling from TransUnion, they're going to be pulling from Equifax, and they're also going to be pulling from Experian as well, which will then give you a hard inquiry on every single credit bureau. The reason why this is not good is because if you guys are trying to apply for other credit cards in a short time frame, then this is going to limit how many credit cards you guys can get, since Capital One is pulling from every credit bureau to approve you. Normally, most credit issuers out there only pull from one credit bureau, like Navy Federal, for example. They pull from TransUnion if you guys are trying to get a credit card with them, at least on the personal side. Or even if you're trying to get an Amex credit card, they're going to be pulling from your Experian credit report. If you guys have too many hard inquiries from one credit bureau, then the chances of you getting approved for a new credit card are going to be slim due to how many hard inquiries you have on that specific bureau. Typically, you don't want no more than 3 hard inquiries per credit bureau within the last 3 to 6 months, because that right there will slim down your chances of getting approved for a new credit card. Now, it's okay to get a hard inquiry on your credit profile if you guys are going to be applying for a new credit card, especially if they're only pulling from one credit bureau. But when you're getting a hard inquiry on every single credit bureau, especially for just one item, that to me right there is crazy. Hard inquiries on multiple credit bureaus is crazy. A lot of people that get credit cards from Capital One do not know this and end up shooting themselves in the foot later on because they didn't realize that they pull from all 3 bureaus. So if you guys are going to get a Capital One credit card for whatever reason, make sure it's worth it and you always do your own due diligence before deciding to get it. Don't go applying for Capital One credit cards blindly without knowing what you're getting yourself into. Make sure that it really makes sense for you to have and that it's worth getting the hard pull on your credit. Because I feel like majority of the time, it's never worth it to get a Capital One credit card unless you're getting one of their travel credit cards like the Venture X or something, then maybe it might be worth it. But the last thing that you guys need to know about Capital One and their credit cards before you guys do decide to apply for one is that when it comes to their business credit cards, ladies and gentlemen, those business credit cards are going to report to the personal side. Ideally, you guys want business credit cards that don't report to your personal credit and only report to the business bureaus. You guys want this because 9 times out of 10, if you guys are using that business credit card for business, you're going to have a lot of expenses on that card, and you definitely don't want that reporting to the personal side. If you guys get a Capital One business credit card and you have a lot of business expenses and it's reporting to the personal side, that right there is going to drop your credit score significantly. You guys want to apply for business credit cards that pull from your personal credit but do not report to your personal credit. The reason why you guys want these type of business credit cards is so that way you guys can buy all the things you guys need for your business, so that way you guys can scale and get ahead in life without ruining your personal credit score. You don't want to ruin your personal credit score because your personal credit score is the thing that's going to let you keep getting approved for other loans and credit cards out there, whether it's on the personal side or even the business side. I've seen people apply for Capital One business credit cards before not knowing that it reports to your personal credit, and literally that's one of the worst things you guys can do, so do not make this mistake. Go for other business credit cards out there like Chase business credit cards, Amex business credit cards. Just don't go for Capital One business credit cards because those are literally the worst. If you guys want to know other business credit cards out there that you guys can apply for that don't report to your personal credit, I actually made a full in-depth video on this, so if you guys want more information in regards to this, then click the link in the description below or just feel free to browse my YouTube channel, Just Money. That's going to wrap it up for today's video, guys. I just wanted to do a quick video giving you guys a little bit of insight about Capital One, their credit cards, before you guys actually do decide to apply for one. So just make sure to always do your own due diligence, you guys. Capital One is definitely one of the most interesting and tricky credit issuers out there. So if you guys are ever going to get a credit card with them, make sure that it makes sense for your personal situation. If you guys have negative items on your credit report, like late payments, charge-off collections, bankruptcies, or whatever it is, and you've been working with somebody who couldn't get it off for whatever reason, send an email to my business email, justmoneyish@gmail.com, saying credit repair, because I have an amazing credit repair person that I personally work with that can definitely help a lot of you guys out there. And also really quick, if you guys are looking to get funding for your business, like anywhere from $50,000 to $150,000 plus in capital, so that way you guys can actually scale and grow your business, send an email to my business email saying funding, and I'll speak with you guys there. But if you guys made it to the end of the video, then I do truly appreciate you guys. We're at 78,800 subscribers at the time of this recording, so I do appreciate all who watch. I do post weekly videos for those that don't know, but if you guys haven't yet already, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't yet already, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that way you guys get notified every time I post a new video. And again, we talk about personal and business credit, real estate, and other financial related topics. So if that's something you're into, then you're probably going to want to consider subscribing. We talk about how to get high limits on your credit cards, how to boost your personal credit, how to obtain business credit. We talk about real estate. We talk about mortgage loan programs. We talk about all that. So this is your one-stop shop. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.